This episode of the Demonic Compendium contains spoilers for the following games. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to a fateful new episode of the Demonic Compendium, the show where I discuss the mythology, design, and game history of your favorite Megami Tensei demons. A wise, albeit insane man once said, "You can't run from fate!" And whether you believe in the idea of predetermined destiny or not, it's fascinating to consider the ideas of the past, present, and future. So I hope you're all ready for a good time, because today, we're talking about Norn. The Norns are the three fates from Norse mythology, three women that guide over all of time and control the fate of both gods and mortals alike. Norn itself isn't really a specific name, but is more of a title. The three women aren't goddesses, they're, well, Norn. The trio is made up of Erd, known as What Once Was, who rules over the past, Verdandi, or What Is Coming Into Being, who controls the present, and Skuld, What Shall Be, who dictates the future. Some stories seem to state that these three are the only Norns who control the destiny of the entire cosmos, while other stories seem to claim that there are lesser Norns that handle things like the fate of a specific individual, while the main three handle things on a grander scale. It's clear though that our Megaten version is based more on the former. The three of them live together in a small hall near a well known as, sorry if I mispronounced this, Urorbrunner, or the Well of Fate. This well is located beneath the great tree Yggdrasil, which allows the Norns' powers of fate weaving to extend to the 9 different realms. Their exact method of creating fate varies from carving runes into wood to weaving a cloth, most similar to the Moire sisters, best known in Greek mythology. Worship of the Norn was considered pretty rare because, according to their own concept, you can't change fate. Mortals and deities alike could either accept or attempt to defy the fate they were dealt, but there really was no reason to pray to the Norn or leave offerings for them because apparently it's already been decided. Norn's Compendium entry from Persona 5 refers to them as goddesses of fate in Norse lore. They live below the roots of Yggdrasil and weave the threads of fate, which even the gods are bound by. Design-wise, the original Norn from Shin Megami Tensei If was portrayed as a singular deity, but what's most interesting about this sprite is it's shown holding a small round golden clock, which may have been a precursor to Norn's most iconic design. Like so many other demons in the franchise, it was specifically Norn's Devil Summoner design that would become the most renowned. A giant golden clock that depicts all three of the Norn at once. Many antique clocks depicted deities or other celestial beings like this, and the gold coloration often stemmed from a process known as ormolu, where a combination of ground gold mixed with mercury was gilded onto another metal, typically bronze. Due to this process involving heavy exposure to mercury, many gilders who use this technique didn't live very long, with some ormolu clocks even being referred to as death clocks, which seems fitting considering we're dealing with the Weavers of Fate today. As for the design itself, a nice extra touch I enjoyed is that Skuld can be seen hiding her face, a trait commonly seen in artistic depictions of the Norn, particularly in this 1882 piece from Ludwig Berger.
Burger.
Because, naturally, we can see the present and the past, but not the future. Norn would return to a singular being in the Demikid series, appearing as something more of a Valkyrie. However, when we look at the designs of Erd, Verdandi, and Skuld from the same game, it's easy to see Norn as something of a fusion of the three, containing some traits from each of them, which overall I think is pretty cool. As far as game history goes, Norn is generally depicted as a pretty powerful demon, which is understandable. A very peculiar aspect of Norn is they are traditionally created by fusing the three Moire sisters of Greek mythology, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropo. While their roles in mythology may be similar, it is strange to create a Norse demon using Greek ingredients. In fact, the only games that do use the three proper separate beings to create Norn are in the Demikid series, light and dark versions, where Norn plays a semi-important role. She first appears to the protagonist at the start of the game, and in the post-game, Erd, Verdandi, and Skuld can be recruited, and if brought to the Temple of Time, they can be fused together to create Norn for your party. Players can also obtain a Norn as a prize for beating 100 consecutive battles in Battle.net, but I don't have any footage of this because I don't hate myself enough to do that. In Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, Norn has a major role in the EX mission Fateful Aid, where basically they recruit the protagonist to help defeat Yggdrasil in order to solve a time paradox that they caused. Completing this mission will unlock Norn for fusion, as well as give players the Nornir ring, which boosts all stats by 1. Norn has had a handful of roles in the Persona series, with a sort of interesting one in Revelations Persona. I'm gonna need to do some explaining on this one. Technically, Norn doesn't appear in Persona 1 at all, but at the end of the Haunted Mansion, the players will encounter the demon Haridi, who is actually Maki's mother masked by an illusion, which makes sense for Haridi's mythology, which we'll probably cover one day. However, for some reason, this demon was localized in Revelations Persona as Norn, which makes no sense at all, but is also kind of genius when you consider that Maki's ultimate persona is Verdandi, one of the Norn. Except that persona was localized in Revelations as Valzante, so we're kind of back to it not making any sense. Moving on. Norn doesn't appear directly as a persona in the Persona 2 duology, but does grace us with a fusion spell. If you've got characters wielding Erd, Verdandi, and Skuld, you can perform Norn's Blink in Innocent Sin or Norn's Twinkles in Eternal Punishment. This is sort of a precursor to moves like Fuka's Oracle or Teddy's Kamui Miracle, where any number of things could happen to your allies or your enemies. In the Persona 3 games, Norn is the highest ranking persona of the Fortune Arcana, and therefore is unlocked for fusion by completing the social link with Keisuke Hiraga. Or if you're playing the Femc path in Persona 3 Portable, the Fortune social link will be with Ryoji Mochizuki. Either way, Norn can be obtained by fusing all 3 Moray sisters together, and is the only persona to naturally learn the most powerful wind attack, Pantare, which again, is Greek, so it's kinda weird to give it to a Norse being. But it means everything flows but nothing stays, which is fitting for this demon. In Persona 4, Norn is still the ultimate persona of the Fortune Arcana, and is unlocked for fusion by completing Naoto Shiragane's social link. Though unfortunately they do lose their Pantare skill, making Norn a bit less impressive in this title. Norn makes their return in Persona 5, where their shadow form is known as the Final Measurer. They're no longer the ultimate persona of the Fortune Arcana, but are fought as a mini-boss in the Casino of Envy. There are a number of demons in the franchise that are made up of multiple pieces, but Norn is one that tends to be remembered for its unique design and powerful spells. And so there you have it, Norn, the fantastic fates that fabricate fortune and fetch fear to fighter and farmer alike. Did I leave out something you thought was important? Was I just plain wrong about something? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to let me know who you'd like to see me talk about in future episodes. That's going to do it for this episode of the Demonic Compendium, and I'll see you next time. But be careful while you rest that a demon doesn't take over your body.